Alright, taking a break from canon warrior cat characters to talk about OCs. We're going to be talking about almost all of Brightstar's children. I will discuss why I left Ash Pool out later. First up is Shadefrost, the oldest of her first litter of 5 adopted kits, who were born in the clan, but their mother, Lily, was a refugee from outside the clan. And when she died, Bright Fur at the time took them in. He is calm, responsible, quiet. If he does say something, it's worth actually listening to him because he often has something important to say or makes a lot of sense. He survived a green cough outbreak as a kit, but while in the medicine den, he witnessed Snakeheart committing crimes and did nothing about it. Oh well, he was just a kid, so it's excusable. I almost regret not making him deputy at some point. He was obviously way too old to be made Ashpool's deputy when she was sort of forced to be leader when Brightstar kicked the bucket. After, like, hey, you look like your mother, so I'm gonna make you deputy because I miss your mother. And I sort of already written it that she had not picked a deputy for 2 years prior. And I was like, I can't just retcon it, because it would make so much sense if she were to make Shadefrost her deputy. Especially since his mentor was Brindlepelt. Like, it would have made so much more sense. And then just to have him, step down when... And just have him step down and have Ashpool take his place, because it wouldn't be the first time a deputy stepped down in order for another cat to take his place. Brightstar. Eagle Wing did it for... not Eagle... Yeah, Eagle Claw did it for you. Eagle Claw did it for you, even though you didn't want it. So, that little rant is so besides the point. I give him a lot of feathery, flowy fur. It's not a design I give a lot of fur in clan cats. They're either really short-furred or they have really fluffy, fluffy fur. They don't have really silky fur. So I really liked his design. He's one of the older ones I did. I did these a couple months ago, and I did him and Shellfoot a couple months ago, and I did everyone else within the last couple of days. So he's just a really good cat, and he actually gets to live to be an elder, which is amazing. It's not like I go really ham on killing a lot of characters, but I do kill more than the canon warrior cats does. Now on to the lesbian of the bunch, Shellfoot. That was literally her only character trait for a long time, because for some reason I thought giving Brightstar and Moonshadow 5 extra kits was a good idea without thinking out any character traits for them. But she is an overall just a good warrior, strong, not as much of a character as her other siblings. She's sort of in Pinetail, they're the lower bit of interesting. They haven't had a lot said about them. Mostly because I haven't gotten to write the bit where they are, actually down. I just finished the rewrite of The Brightest Light. It's completely finished on AO3, and I will be starting Changing Tides soon, and they will be kits about to be apprentices in the beginning. So I hopefully will have a better idea of her character then. But she does get together with Rabbit Skip's daughter Renai, and I really like them, and they're just average in my mind, and I don't know why. Average warriors. I can't really see her as a good deputy. I do see her as a bit maybe too hot-headed a bit. So not really good deputy material. She is sort of the stronger of the warriors. She kind of takes after some of Brightstar's not so pleasant personalities, because Brightstar can be a bit temperamental, especially the older she got. I just really like her, and I have no other reason to. Except, and yeah, like I said, I hope to be able to develop her more. And also, her tail is not from an injury. It's a natural bobtail, and I should have drawn it better. Because I don't think we've seen a naturally bobtail in Canon Warriors, but cats can have a naturally bobtail. Because, like, Berrynose's tail was injured. Finleaf's tail was injured. I don't think we've seen a naturally bobtail in canon. So, I would like to see more cats with, like, naturally bobtails. And now that I'm looking at her, can I just talk about how... I want to redo this reference, because why is she so short-bodied, but her legs are so long? Why? What was I thinking? Oh, poor girl. Also, what was Brightstar thinking naming her Shellfoot? Because, yeah, Brightstar named... Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. I think Brightstar is the one who did name them. Okay, anyway. It's Foxscar's turn, and she actually is interesting. She is tiny. And that is about a fourth of her character trait, is she is like Scourge, but fluffier and good. To the point where Silverstar almost didn't make her a warrior until Brightfur threw a fit. And was like, she literally threw a fit at Silverstar and got her way. I love it, because it's like she was short. That was Silverstar's whole reason to not let her train as a warrior. And Brightfur went full Karen, I'm gonna say it. She went full entitled parent and got her daughter her warrior apprenticeship. And actually, she and her sister Lily Nose earned their warrior names by protecting the nursery when a couple of badgers broke in looking for an easy meal. That's actually how she got those nice scars across her face. And you'll see what they did to Lily Nose in a sec. And that's not even the end of Foxscar's interesting character traits. And this is where the timeline gets a little screwy, because I forgot how long the timeline should have been. She got together with one of the villains in the later story arcs, Broken Storm, who, with his brother Ravenscar, legally got made leader. Ravenscar legally got made leader of a Badger clan, but then decided, hey, fuck Star Clan, we're taking over all the clans. Because our dad had a grudge against Brightstar for clawing out his eyes. Good job, Brightstar. And you'll hear me switching between Brightstar and Brightfur depending on, when any given event in the timeline takes place. So, she actually ends up falling in love with him and having his kit. And after Brightstar dies, it sort of leaves her in a very bad spot, because Ashpool, who is Ashstar at this point, fucking lost her mind. Doesn't matter that that they're adopted siblings, because Ashpool was raised by Brightstar as well. Ashstar has lost her fucking mind. She's just going crazy on all of her. She's like Bluestar, but more sympathetic. And this is also where Shadefrost comes back in, because Shadefrost is like, yeah, no, give Stormpaw to me as an apprentice, please. I will protect her. Foxscar is just interesting, okay? Just her life was just drama from beginning to end. And Lily Nose, nursery warrior extraordinaire, because I actually have nursery warriors in my series. And no, she is not just a nursery warrior because she lost her leg to the badgers. She's a nursery warrior because she wants to. And she actually can hunt. She learned to hunt with only 3 legs. And when there are no kids in the nursery, she does normal warrior duties. I just need a second, because it's just like, just because she has no leg doesn't mean she needs to either be in the medicine den or the Elder's Den, or the fact, or does that mean I stuck her in the nursery because I had nothing else to do with her? I feel, and here's the thing, she was a nursery warrior before I added this little detail of her leg, because I thought it was so much more interesting to, just to diversify the cast a bit, because I didn't have a whole lot going on, because remember, I made these originally when I made Brightstar Story Up when I was like 16, and it's been just going on from there, so it's been almost 6 years. Fuck. It's almost 6 years, so they've come a long way. She also, I didn't go ham on her as I did Fox Scar, because, I don't know. I never really saw her as having a whole bunch of scars, but, so I gave her just the missing leg, the torn ear, and the scars across her eye, because I thought it looked better. And now I'm realizing some of these I made way too long because I don't have a whole lot to say. I made these recordings too long. So I guess enjoy the rest of the speed paint. She's one of my favorites of this bunch, honestly, how she turned out. She's really pretty, and you can kind of see what I mean. Even though they're not blood Fern Clan, she looks a lot like I designed a lot of Fern Clan cats. You know, just sort of mildly fluffy, you know, like medium hair length. She's got a fluffy mane of fur around her neck. It's just sort of nice. Am I almost done? Hold on, I want to try. I found out you can shorten the length of the recordings in this. I'm figuring out how this works, okay? So, Pinetail, the final one. She's usually seen hanging out with Shadefrost. And that's just by coincidence, because they're usually the two of this litter that pops in my head. She's somewhat unremarkable, much like Shellfoot. She doesn't even have interesting relationships to go off of. She never even has a mate. So she's just a decent warrior. I could see her possibly being a decent deputy. Not as good as Shadefrost, though. Shadefrost would make an excellent deputy, other than, you know, the whole not saying that he witnessed Snakeheart committing crimes as a kid. The lengths these cats will go to not get obviously evil cat exiled is crazy. But also consistent with canon, honestly. White Wing, the first of the 3 biological kits of Brightstar and Moonshadow. Her most impressive character trait is that she dies protecting Night Shadow, because again, I just haven't had a lot of time to develop her as much as I had. Honestly, Night Shadow is the most interesting of the siblings, so I have a whole much more to say about him. She is pretty, is her most outward character trait, and she looks a lot like her mother, other than her small black spotches that she has. She actually used to have like really weird like designs on her, you know, not like realistically cat-like designs, so I changed them. And it's gonna take me a bit to get used to this design for her. But she lives to be like a year and a half old. She lives a really short life. She did not have her warrior name very long, and she just gets to watch her clan continue to fall apart. But she tries. She watches over them from Star Clan, and she's just like, I know I originally said in one of my fact videos that she would not move on to Star Clan, but I changed canon so much in my OC. Like, what happens, it's not even funny. So yeah, she's in Star Clan because it's just too much work. Blueheart is kind of your just generic queen character even before she's a queen. She is quiet, kind, and sort of sweet. She is a strong warrior. Not that she stands out much compared to her other siblings. Especially now, looking back, that her siblings include 2 leaders. It doesn't really make her look very good by comparison. But she was a very good cat. And fun fact, I made her mate Stonetooth just so I could merge Brightstar and Brindlepelt's family trees. So yeah, the whole reason that they are mates and had 4 kits is so I could do less legwork when plotting out family trees. And I kind of regret when I killed her off, even though for drama's sake it makes sense. She died of green cough about 4 moons after the battle with Badger Clan, the final battle that ended it all. So 3 moons after her mother, and just shortly after her kits were apprenticed. She did get to see her medicine cat daughter receive her medicine cat name, but that only was because Dawn Cloud got her medicine cat name early because Sage Cloud was not going to live much longer. She was extremely old, and she had also caught the green cough that everyone else had been catching. So it was kind of like a cheat, like, hey, your mentor's gonna die and your mom's gonna die. Here's a compensation name, kid. Go be a child doctor. Go heal people. Good luck. And did I also mention that the leader was batshit insane during this time? I love it. I love kitty cat drama. Nightshadow never wanted to be leader, and he never thought he would be. Honestly, he wasn't even sure what Shadowstar was thinking when she made him deputy, especially how she ended up treating him and everyone else after. He honestly thought about stepping down after she ran out his mate, then after his only kit left the clan. And then one day he found Shadowstar with a pile of death berries in front of her. He took her to the Moonstone, and she relinquished her 9 lives, and he gained them, becoming Shadowstar. After his 9 life ceremony, Brightstar pulled him aside and apologized. She said that she could only ever see his father in him. And given how traumatically Moonshadow had been torn away from her, he kind of understood how things could get so out of control. And she admitted that she no longer believed that the prophecy of Ash after Flame had been about Ashpool, and instead had been about him. Shadowstar isn't sure how much he believes in that, but he is determined to lead his clan. He strives himself on keeping good relationships with the other clans, especially Brook Clan, since they had always somewhat had a good relationship with them, other than the brief time during the Brightest Slate when Stormstar was in charge. He also took over Stormpaw's training when Shadefrost had to go to the Elder's Den, because he just couldn't keep up anymore, and finished out Stormshade for him. He is hesitant about going to the Moonstone, because every time, no matter why he's going to visit StarClan, Silver's there and trying to convince him to move on and take another mate. It's almost like sitcom level ridiculous at this point. I just really like him. I hope he stays around for a while. I don't have any actual plans to kill him off anytime soon. He made Ashpool's mate, Darktail, his deputy, which a lot of people are like, dude, why are you making her mate deputy? Like, she was a horrible leader. Why are you doing? But he sees how he doesn't want to punish Darktail for anything that Ashpool might have done. And he also is very forgiving of Ashpool for everything, despite everything she's done, despite the fact that she got his mate killed. He understands. So he understands. That's all I can really say. And last but not least, we have Stone Kit, who is the kit of Brightstar and Stonestar of Brook Clan. Born during the exile of both clans, he did not live very long. Only a couple of moons before he succumbed to an illness that none of the medicine cats were able to treat due to the just horrifying circumstances that the clans were in at the time. So I'll talk about more about his life would have been like if he had survived. He actually would have opted to join Brook Clan when he was 6 moons old. In my clans, if a kit of half-clan descent, when they're 6 moons old, they get to choose where they want to stay. Most stay in their birth clan just because that's where they were raised. Some go to different clans. For example, Ebony Mask and Eagle Claw actually have another sibling who actually went back to Badger Clan when they were 6 moons old, and he would have chose to go to Brook Clan. That's the most interesting thing about him. I actually regret killing him off, and I'm like, was that just a step too far? I've killed her mate. At this point, I've killed at least one of her kits, and I've killed her best friend and deputy. Have I gone a step too far? Probably I went a step too far. Oh my god, if I ever decide doing that many characters at once is a good idea, someone slap me. Because, oh, my throat hurts. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're wondering why I did not include Ashpool, because that would make 10. That would make 10. And I do not have the patience for that right about now. And I don't have the patience for it, and I don't think I don't think I can cover everything I want to cover about her in one video. So, thank you guys so much for watching. May Star Clan light your path.